Hello everyone, how are you doing today? My name is Dr. Iyabo. I'm the Money to Honey coach. I'm also a business and lifestyle coach for women. Thanks for choosing my channel. I'm so glad you're here today. On my channel, you'll find all topics about how to make more money, how to be financially free, how to build wealth, and how to attract your honey and have a good equal loving partner beside you to share life with. And you'll also get tips on how you can look 50, and you can be 50 and look like you're 35, right? So welcome to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you like and you comment on this post when we're done. So let's just dive right in. I'm sharing with you today 7 reasons why you're still single, right? So my lovely, wonderful women out there, I know there's many of you who are single who love my page. Why? Because I was single, divorced for 10 years, and I just got remarried last year. I got remarried just a few days or 1 week before actually 10 days before my 50th birthday last year. You guys know I got married on Zoom, and the video for my Zoom wedding is actually on my page. So if you haven't seen it, go and watch my Zoom wedding from last year. So actually our wedding anniversary is next month. How time flies, our first year wedding anniversary. So it's because you guys know I was single for 10 years and then I got remarried. So this is why I'm sharing all the knowledge that I know out there to help you women out there, whether you're single, divorced, or married. So what is the first reason you're still single? I have to say that the first one I'm going to tell you today is that women, some of you have low self-esteem. Yes, I get a lot of messages in my DM from women that honestly, the answer that I give them is just 3 words. I just say, cut him off. Because you guys go through the pain of writing me this long essay, many paragraphs in my DM, and I can sense from the DM that you're hurting. You don't know what to do, but just as an outsider on the outside, reading your story and reading what you've had to put up with for so long, my only conclusion from your message and the plight you've put yourself in is that your self-esteem is very low. Honestly, it's very low. So like today, the message I got this morning, because every single day I get messages in my DM about relationships. I hardly get any messages from women who want to make money and build wealth, but I get all the relationship talk. A woman today told me that she'd been seeing this guy for 2 months. I'm actually not sure what part of the world she's in, to be honest. I don't remember if she said her age, but she said they'd been talking for 2 months, I think. And whenever she notices that he only calls her between 10 to 11 p.m. 3 to 4 times a week, and when he calls, most of the time they don't get to say bye-bye. The line just cuts off for some bizarre reason. And when she asks him what happened, he says, "Oh, I fell asleep." That is already a red flag, which I'm not sure. First of all, there's many red flags here. They've been talking for 2 months. They haven't seen each other, right? First red flag. Second red flag, he only calls her between 10 to 11 p.m. That's a red flag. What's he doing during the day? Even if he's working, does he have a lunch break? Doesn't he get home at 5 or 6? He calls her every day, 10 to 11 p.m., 3 to 4 times a week. That's not bad. But then many times she said that the line just gets disconnected, and when she asks him what happened, he says, "I fell asleep." Maybe once you could fall asleep and the phone won't even get disconnected if you fall asleep. The phone will fall. So there's so many red flags in her story. And then, he says that he's a pastor and he now pastors in his mom's church. That's perfectly fine. No red flag there. But the biggest red flag of all is that she was invited to visit him at home. And his mom and dad, again, I don't know whose house it was. I don't know if this is a young guy who still lives at home. I'm not sure. But anyway, when she got there, his parents asked her to go straight to the kitchen to go and cook for them. That was the first time she met him. They hadn't seen face to face before. And that first day, she was asked to go to the kitchen to cook for him. Isn't that story full of red flags? You shouldn't even need to ask. And then she's like, "Oh, but I'm falling in love with him. I feel this is all strange, but it's very hard for me. What should I do?" if you have to ask somebody what you should do in that kind of situation, then there's something wrong somewhere with your self-esteem. Again, this is not a criticism. Please, women, you know that I love you guys from the moon and back. I'm just trying to help you. So you're going to have to get used to getting tough love from me, right? So a lot of the messages I get from women are just like that. There's all sorts. There was the one, I think it was last week also, who was kind of similar story, who told me that this guy told her that they'd been chatting back and forth on the phone or WhatsApp or whatever, and then he broke it out to her and said he also has been dating another woman for 2 months. Is that okay with her? And then she has to ask me, what do I think? Is that okay? So there's just a lot of these stories out there, a lot of these stories. Or the one who got pregnant by a man and the man told her to have an abortion and she didn't have an abortion, and then she had the baby, and now the man says she and her baby should leave. She doesn't, but she's scared that if she leaves with the baby, that he's very harsh, he's not nice to the baby. The child is 1 year old, and she's worried that if she leaves, this child is going to be affected and she won't have a father. I'm like, leave and go and take care of your child. Your child is going to be worse off in a household where the guy doesn't respect you, doesn't want you around, is harsh to the child. So that is number one, basically, okay? Number one reason that you haven't been able to find a good guy to get married to and have a wonderful life, who you're going to have kids with, who you're going to be happy with, who will respect you, is because you are just putting yourself up with these guys, with these jerks, players, I don't know what to call them, irresponsible guys, because your self-esteem is very low. You're not choosy, you're not picking high quality guys. You've let yourself just, your guard down because you just want to be with the guy, and you are just letting these irresponsible guys come into your life because your self-esteem is low and you're probably desperate to just have a guy. So, you're staying with these guys for too long. You're getting wrapped up, falling in love with them, getting emotionally attached to them, and then everything still just breaks up and doesn't work out. So that's why you're still single. So this is what I always say, that women, you have your priorities in the wrong order. You really need to, and I'm going to have a video which I'm recording after this about how women have just jumbled up their priorities in life, and that's leading them to have low self-esteem. So if I haven't already published that video, you need to just look for that video on my page, or wait, it's probably going to be published soon after this one. The women have misplaced their priorities in life. So because if you have low self-esteem, you're going to keep attracting the wrong guys, and you're going to stay single because these guys are going to treat you badly. They're going to be jerks. They're going to ghost you, disappear, come back in and out of your life. They're just going to mistreat you. I mean, what kind of guy sends a woman into his kitchen the first day to go and cook for his parents? In fact, it's his parents. She said, she told me that his parents told her to go into the kitchen and cook. I mean, she should have seen those signs before then, right? A guy who's only calling you between 10 to 11 p.m., who's lying that he falls asleep every time. This guy is probably married, and his parents are trying to see which other woman will be good for him before they send his wife away. That he probably has a wife at home. This is why he calls at a certain time every night and then quickly drops the phone when she's close by or something. There's something bizarre about the whole story. But if you have good self-esteem, good self-awareness, high self-confidence, you won't put up with all these jerks. So you need to work on your self-esteem, women. And I'm the coach for you. So if your self-esteem has been affected to the point where you're feeling that there's no good men out there, you are the problem. I want to say that carefully. It's not that there's no good men out there. There are good men out there, but you're attracting the wrong men, okay? And these men may even be potentially good, but because they've seen in you that you're weak, you have low self-esteem, it's easy to just give you whatever. They'll misuse you and mistreat you. So actually, some of these men may be potentially good, but they've seen that you're desperate for a man and they feel they can just offer you anything. So this is why I really wanted to spend time on number one. Okay, number one is actually the most important out of all the seven I'm going to see. These seven are also important, but number one is an epidemic. There's too many women out there who have low self-esteem, who are desperate for a man, and they keep putting up with nonsense and crap for men. You need to work on your self-development, and your self-worth, your self-esteem, okay? So I am the perfect person to coach you about confidence. I know you guys keep saying my coaching is expensive, but what would you want? What it's like, would you rather be in this cycle of bad relationships with low self-esteem, or invest in yourself and get good things in your life? It's up to you. But if you're interested in my coaching, you know where to go. Go to my website, driyabo.com, and sign up. Okay, number two, unrealistic expectations. I had said this in another video that I have posted, or maybe even many videos. A lot of you are still single because your standards are too high, your standards are unrealistic. Again, I'm not one to ever tell women to settle. Never ever settle for lower than what you want. But you have to be in the middle somewhere. It's bad to settle. It's like number one is settling, right? Number one, low self-esteem. Too many women are settling for crap. But on the other hand, on the other extreme, there's also those women there whose expectations and standards are unrealistic. They want the perfect package. Women want what they don't have. You're earning 35,000, but you want a man who's earning 1 million, right? You're intellectually, you are not quite there, but you want a man who has high intellectual standards, who has an MBA, who's the CEO of this and that. Your expectations are unrealistic, right? Or you want a man who's going to be your bank, who's going to provide you with everything, but who's still going to spend a lot of time with you at home, who's going to be good for your kids, help you with cooking, help you. Something has to give. You can't have all of that. It's unrealistic. Or you only want a black guy, or you only want a white guy, or you only want, if you want, you have to look at yourself, right? What you have, what quality, what you have to offer to a man. And then think about what you're looking for. If you have to build yourself first into a high quality woman that a high quality man will want. I'm not saying you shouldn't be choosy or picky. Absolutely, you should be choosy or picky, but you have to be realistic. You can't want what you don't have. I hope this makes sense. Again, if it doesn't make sense to you, then you need a dating coach. If you're confused by everything I'm saying and you don't know how to put them into practical terms, or you need your mindset to be, dealt with and corrected, then you need a dating coach. That's number two, unrealistic expectations, unrealistic standards, right? You want a money man, you want a tall and handsome man, you want a man with good education, you want a man this, that. That's what every other woman wants too. But it's okay to want all those things, but are you all those things? That's the question for you to answer, right? Number three, women are just frustrated, right? There's many women out there who are just tired. I was there. They're just tired and discouraged with the dating scene. They're just like, you know what? There's no more good men out there. All men are cheaters, or cheats or cheaters, depending on which word you use. All men are bad. All women treat women. That is not true. There's still many good men out there. And as much as women think men are complicated, women are actually the complicated ones. A man will show you how he feels. But if you are thinking something else in your head, then good luck to you. If a man is cheating on you, he doesn't respect you, right? You can go and watch all my reels and my videos and everything. I sound like a broken record. A man shows you exactly how he feels, but you make this fantasy world in your head, right? You're deceiving yourself. But number three is single women, divorced women are just discouraged, even married women. In fact, there's many more tired and discouraged married women out there who again just sit down and put up with crap, and they say they're discouraged. Nobody's tying you down to sit in a toxic marriage. You can leave, you can get a divorce and move on with your life. If you guys have tried counseling, you've tried prayer, you've waited and waited, what's the point? Why are you putting off your happiness? It makes no sense to me. I can't wrap my head around why people do that. So if you are that tired, discouraged, frustrated woman, maybe what you really need to do is what I did. I took 2 years of dating because I got into that space, that mental space. I got tired, I got overwhelmed, I got discouraged with dating. It was just too much. I had been out on so many dates. I think I was on 2 or 3 sites. I was tired. So luckily for me, my pastor, somehow through God sent a message through him to me that day. And I took 2 years off dating, and those were 2 of my best years ever. I healed, I got perspective, I grew myself, I grew my money life, I bought a house. They were fantastic. So now, if you're that discouraged, frustrated, tired woman, shut down all the dating sites. If you're dating a man now and he's still not good for you, let him go. Tell him you don't want to date him anymore. Take time off to learn about yourself, to build up your own life, to build that business, to start that blog, to start that YouTube video, start that podcast, build wealth. Do all those things, write that book, do the things that are good for you. Start living in your purpose, okay? If you're discouraged or tired. Number 4, you are still hurting from the past, okay? This one is self-explanatory. I'm not going to waste time on it. There's many women out there who have had bad marriages, bad relationships, toxic marriages. They haven't given themselves time to heal, or they haven't even hired a therapist if they need one to help them get their mental health and their mental space back in order. So if you've been hurt from past relationships, you're going to think every guy is like the guy that you were with. If you were with a cheater, you're going to think every man is cheating, right? If you were with somebody whose parents didn't treat you right, you're going to think everybody's parents didn't treat you right. Whatever. If you're with a man who was beating you up, you're going to think every man is violent. So you have to heal from the wounds of the past. Get a therapist to help you take care of your past, and then hire me as a coach so I can help you from here onwards into the future so you can do better. You need both in your life. You need a therapist to help you heal from the past. You need a coach to help you now plan your now and your future as well. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5, you're just busy. Whether you're artificially busy or you're deceiving yourself with busyness. There's those 2 kinds of busyness, right? Some women are really just high achieving, they're workaholics. They just have no time in between running after their kids or running after their life and running after work. They just have no room to be able to date. If that is you, if you're really truly busy and you're single and you still miss having a man in your life, then you definitely need to reprioritize your day so that you can have more self-care and more free time, so that you can have time to, go on dating sites or meet men or do those things. You have to have time, right, to be able to date. Otherwise, how are you going to meet the man? The man isn't just going to drop into your house while you're taking care of your kids or drop into your office. You have to have the time. So restructure your schedule so you can have time to take care of yourself and time to be able to go out on dates. But if you're artificially busy and just filling up your days with things that don't matter, or with nonsense, or from just scrolling on social media or being a couch potato, and because of that you don't have time for dating, then you know what to do, right? So some of you are really truly busy and you really need to restructure your day, but some of you just get into artificial busyness because you just want to pretend like you're busy so you don't have to think of being single, right? So number 7 is just that busyness. I'm sorry, not number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was number 5. I'm sorry, guys. I keep saying I'll number my points, but I never number them. I need to do that. I just write them down. I don't number them. That was number 5. So we have 2 more. Number 6 is you've gotten comfortable with being single. There are many out there. I actually was getting into that mode during the 2 years that I took off, I actually was starting to think, maybe I should just stay like this because this is actually a very good way of living. Those 2 years were fantastic for me because I was already healed, and then I had published my book. I spoke at the United Nations. With my daughters and I would travel during the summer for weeks and weeks. I took really good care of myself. I was just toned, I was in shape, I was working out, doing yoga, doing bar. I mean, I was just aging backwards. I loved my life those years. So I was starting to think, I'm like, maybe I should just stay single. Who even cares about a man? But aside from having those thoughts, I still had some times in my day that I would still miss being with a guy, like on Valentine's Day and some holidays, some evenings, or just when my daughters were busy with their friends, I would be lonely. But I honestly was starting to get comfortable with being single. So some of you are just getting comfortable with being single, and then once in a while you remember, you're like, oh gosh, I'm still single, I need to start dating. So that's number 6, right? You started getting comfortable with being single, which is not a bad thing. You don't have to get married, but if you still have marriage as a desire, then you better not get too comfortable with being single, because time will pass you by and you may wake up in your 60s and say, why didn't I look for somebody during my 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s when I was still young? So if that's still your desire to get coupled up and get married, don't get too comfortable with being single. My daughters always used to remind me, especially my younger one, then she was like, Mom, you're starting to get a bit too comfortable with this singleness. You need to go back on online dating. But I was also really determined to really spend those 2 years that I had promised myself being single and just getting to renew myself, relearn myself, and really build myself up to the kind of woman that a man would want to be with, right? So it was good for me. And then let me see. Yeah, then the last thing is just you have all your defenses up. This the last one actually is related to a few of the others. It's related to the part where I said you haven't healed from your hurts from past relationships. It also kind of is related to the one where I said you're artificially busy. So your defenses are just up. You're like, a better way to put number 7 is you don't want to be hurt. Okay, because I kind of went through this as well, where I was like, I'd rather not date because I just don't want to be hurt anymore. So your guards are up. You have your electric door up. You have your metal doors up. You're just guarded. You have all your bars and defenses up because you don't want to be hurt anymore. So if that is you, you may also need therapy, right? Or you may need to do a lot of journaling and healing and writing down why you feel you're in this mental space. So some women are just very guarded. I had a time that I was feeling that way too, that I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be, this man, any little thing that a man does, you're like, oh no, he's about to hurt me or he's about to do this. So you're not relaxed and you're just scared of being hurt. So again, the last one is related to a few of the others. So these are the 7 reasons why you're still single. If you guys can think of any other reason, please put it in the comments, because I'm sure there's some that I didn't think of. But I looked at it and I really meditated over it, and I think that I covered everything that most single and divorced women use to prevent themselves from being coupled up. But honestly, out of all of them, number 1 and number 2 are the ones that give me a lot of concern for women. Number 1, the low self-esteem issue is an epidemic. A lot of women are dealing with low self-esteem in one form or the other, and the low self-esteem makes them stay with bad guys who misuse them, mistreat them for way too long. And then number 2 is the unrealistic expectations. So those are like 2 extremes. Number 1, low self-esteem is you just have no boundaries, right? With low self-esteem, you have no boundaries at all. With unrealistic standards, you have way too many standards, too many high expectations. So women, you need to find a middle point. You have to heal and all of those things, and you have to start having achievements and goals and dreams in your life that you are chasing, that you are accomplishing, so that your taste in men will improve, right? because if you're just desperate and you don't have so much going on for you, you're just going to want to put up with anyone. So number one, low self-esteem, and number two, unrealistic expectations. Low self-esteem, lack of boundaries, putting up with any crap, or unrealistic expectations. I want this, I want that, I want this, I have to have that, he has to be this, he has to be that. You can't have all of those things. So you better write a list of the things that really make sense, that God isn't going to look at you and roll his eyes and say, this my daughter isn't serious, she wants this, that, and she's not even all of those things. So those are the 7 reasons why you're still single. And all of these 7 things, you need help with them. If you don't deal with these 7 things, whichever ones apply to you, you're going to stay single for a long time. I went through some of these things, and I had to face them and deal with them. That's why I took the 2 years off, to heal and to get myself back into knowing who I was and chasing my own goals and dreams. And I was getting discouraged and frustrated as well. So these 7 things, if it applies to you in any way, you either have to get a therapist to help you deal with your hurts or with your past and with your low self-esteem. Plus, you can't just deal with your past without dealing with your current and your future. You also have to get a coach who's going to coach you on how to be different with your mindset and your mentality, so that from now moving forward, you will be able to date wisely and live your life in a different way, so that you can be happier and get the things you're looking for in love and in money and in purpose. So I'm here to help you. I can do all the YouTube videos from now until eternity, but if you guys don't get a coach who is going to help you restructure your life, you may stay where you are. So again, you guys know where to find me. In every video, I have in my description the link to my website, and everything you need is in my website. Or just put a comment on this YouTube, Dr. Iyabo, I would like you to be my coach, and I will reply your comments and tell you where to go to sign up for my coaching. So you guys know where to find me. Just post a comment or go to my Instagram and send me a DM, right? I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you figure out where you stand with all these 7 things. If you're still single and looking for that wonderful man, one of these 7 reasons is why you're still single. So deal with them. I love you guys. God bless you. Please like, please comment on this post, and please subscribe and turn your notifications on so that as soon as my videos drop, you will see them immediately. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.